Deity work can be really difficult, especially if you're new to it, especially if you maybe come from a religious background that has only taught you to commune with the divine through one way, and so you don't really know how to communicate with deities, but you want to start working with them. What do? There are so many ways to work with deities and really just connect with them, and so today I'm going to share with you my favorite ways to do so. Hi lovely witch, my name is Rosa. I'm the Divine Feminine Witch, and I help witches feel empowered through working with the goddess. Today's video is going to be a little bit more of a chit-chatty video. I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite ways to connect with Lady Venus and Mother Lilith. I want to preface this with saying that there isn't any one way to do things, and there is no right or wrong way to connect with these goddesses or really any deities at all. Whatever feels natural to you, I highly encourage you to do it. Trusting your intuition is a good way to let yourself be guided into connecting with the deities that you are interested in working with. I did also recently share a blog post where I give you tips on how to choose and connect with a deity. I'll link that in the description, so feel free to check that out. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. So let's start off with some of my favorite communication styles. Personally, I love to do tarot. So I actually assigned a tarot deck to each of my goddesses. For Lady Venus, I got the Goddess of Love Tarot by Gabriella Herstick. I absolutely love this tarot, and it's actually designed to work with pretty much any love goddess. If you go through this, there are so many goddesses that are depicted in the tarot cards, and I absolutely love it. And it's funny because when I first got this tarot deck, I didn't necessarily have an intention to assign it to Lady Venus. I just started working with the tarot deck. You know, usually when you get a tarot deck, you want to cleanse it first. And so I was cleansing it, and then I started playing with it and pulling cards. And if you're new to tarot, I strongly suggest you to also use it with a pendulum, because a pendulum, you can ask yes or no questions, and it's very direct and it will give you very quick answers usually. And so you can confirm what you understand your tarot reading interpretation. And so the first session that I did with this tarot deck, I grabbed the pendulum and I asked which one of these goddesses was sending me this message. And it was Lady Venus. And every single time after that, it was her. She's the only one that's been wanting to communicate with me with this tarot deck. And so I immediately just made it officially just her tarot deck. That is how I communicate with her. I did already have some other tarot decks, but they didn't quite feel right to do with Lilith. So I did kind of like scour the internet for different tarot decks and tarot deck reviews to see which one really called to me and felt like it was her. And that is how I found this one, the Nova Witch Tarot by Suki Ferguson. This is a beautiful tarot deck. And in fact, this one, personally, I feel it is great to do shadow work with. Most of the things that I've been learning through Mother Lilith about is usually involving shadow work. Honestly, both of these goddesses encourage me to do shadow work around different themes, but with Mother Lilith, it's pretty much always shadow work with this deck. With that deck, I definitely did specifically assign it to her. I called out to Mother Lilith and I cleansed the deck, and as I was cleansing it, I was placing it on her altar, and I let it sit there for a few days to help her connect her energy to it. I asked her to connect her energy through this deck in order for me to be able to communicate with her. Aside from tarot, I also like to use this amethyst pendulum. Try to focus it for you. The pendulum I've mostly only used to communicate with Lilith, and that was way before I got any tarot deck, and so it's just very easy for me to communicate with her through the pendulum. I also like to communicate with them simply through meditation. I'll just get into a meditative state, I'll close my eyes, and thoughts will start coming through, and usually those thoughts involve either messages or things that I need to do shadow work around, or just reflect on. Occasionally, when I am doing meditation, that is when I will hear a voice. And I've gotten to the point where I have strengthened my intuition and my clairaudience to be able to differentiate between the two. And so I'll know when it is Lady Venus or Mother Lilith trying to communicate with me. And they do have subtle differences in their tone. When I hear them come through, sometimes I'll respond audibly or sometimes just in my mind, and I'll be able to communicate with them. And usually when it's that way though, I only get maybe one word or like short phrases. And I'll have to try and decipher what it means or what they're talking about. Most of the time, I do know what they're talking about because it pertains to specific situations that I am currently thinking about or dealing with in my everyday life. Another way I like to communicate with them is through dreams. For that, I will usually write in my dream journal. I've created a whole dream altar to help me really enhance my dreams or really enhance my memory recall of my dreams. And so I have a dream journal where I will literally ask specifically one of them to send me a message revolving a specific situation or just any kind of message that maybe they want to try and communicate with me. Usually if I see a lot of symbolism in my everyday life, like angel numbers or owls or maybe keys, or perhaps a feather appears in the most random spot, then that I take as possibly a sign from either of them or my spirit guides. And so I will write in my journal if they can give me more information on what this symbolism could be. And then usually I will immediately get a dream from them. When I get a dream from either one of these goddesses, they will send me specific symbols that help me understand that it's specifically them. For example, with Lilith, I have told her if she sends me a dream to send me snakes in that dream, and that's how I'll know it's her sending me a message. With Lady Venus, she's honestly only sent me one dream, and that was telling me to communicate with her and begin a connection with her. And in that dream, there was a lot of very pretty colors, a lot of glitter, seashells and water, and there was a dolphin. It was absolutely beautiful, but it was all symbolism that correlated to Venus, and that's how I knew it was her. And also because I was already considering working with her. So I actually like to set scheduled times to connect with these two deities. I also want to say you absolutely do not have to do that. If you feel like that will help you have a stronger connection to them, I highly encourage you to set specific times to make time for them and honor them and do practices that help you embody their energy. But you could also just do this every single day in your everyday life. It's kind of what I do with my glamour magic. I'll add a little bit of Lilith energy into some of my things, and then I'll add a little bit of Venus energy into my things. And when I am getting ready, I am basically honoring both of them and doing a devotional act to them. And that is a way to connect with them every day. But aside from this, I do like to have specific times to where I specifically want to connect with either one of them. With Mother Lilith, I usually like to connect with her during a waning moon because I usually tend to do shadow work with her, and so that is a really good time to be doing shadow work. Or anytime I'm feeling flustered or angry or just overwhelmed with certain things like the fascist oppressors that we may feel like we're dealing with these days. She has really helped me ground myself and come back to my center when I'm feeling certain kind of emotions. She has also allowed me the space to feel those emotions in order to be able to come back to my center and really feel like I can handle the situations coming up ahead. And with Venus, ever since I started working with her, I pretty much dedicate Friday nights to her. I have even told my best friend, sorry, Friday nights are for Venus. I do an entire self-care ritual that's pretty much dedicated dedicated to her. And then I will also include tarot. And then based off of how my tarot session goes, I will either do some spell work or reflection, shadow work. It really just depends on the message that comes through. So as far as offerings, like I've been saying throughout this video, there is no one way to do things. There is no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you feel called to do. Offerings can be physical or they can be devotional acts. Everything that I have put on their altars are pretty much offerings for them. Most of these things are permanent offers. Other times they're like little food items or drinks or perfumes or candles that eventually are done. How you dispose of an offering is also up to you. I usually like to give them some little offering during every new moon. Every new moon, I usually clean up the altar space and freshen up their space. And then after that is when I present them with an offering. And usually that's either flowers or a drink or a snack. It's some kind of like food that either I've made or I purchased and I really like, and I think they would like it too. And so I kind of share it, like a specific chocolate. I will either give them a piece each, or if I feel like Lilith will like it more, I will give it to her, and then I will give Venus something else. When I present them with an offering like this, I usually call out their name and I say, I have this offering for you. I think you will really like it because of XYZ. I am giving you this because I am thankful for XYZ and I really want to show appreciation. And then I just set it down and I say, please accept this offering. It's very simple. You don't have to do all of that. Again, do whatever feels natural to you. When I remove the offering, usually I'll hover my hand over the offering and I will ask, are you done with this offering? And I will wait, and usually I'll feel like a warm sensation under my hand, and I will take that as an approval. If not, I have heard them once or twice say no, that they are not done with the offering. And so I will just leave it there for maybe another day or a few days, and then I will eventually ask again. When I remove these offerings, especially if it's edible, I usually wrap it up in a paper towel and I will throw it away in my trash can, and then I will throw that outside. If it's something that can be returned to Mother Earth, then I will take the offering outside and toss it out in the ground right in front of my yard. When it's flowers though, they both usually love their flowers. And so after the flowers dry, most of the time, I will keep those flowers. I will either keep them hanging. I have a bunch of hanging flowers just all over my room, or I will take the petals and put them in a jar. I have jars for different colored petaled roses and hibiscus. Those can be useful for spells later on. And then, like I said earlier, I embody their energy every single day pretty much, or at least I try to, especially when I am getting ready. I have specific affirmations that are associated with Lilith's energy, and I have specific affirmations that are associated with Venus's energy. I kind of just like looked it up online. I Googled affirmations with Venus energy or affirmations with Lilith energy. And I didn't copy word for word. I created my own after I was inspired by the ones that I read. And you can also just think about like what their correspondences are, the type of energy that they bring. Lilith is more of like the dark feminine energy, and Venus is the Venusian energy. And so I created affirmations based off of that. And literally every day that I get ready, when I put on my lotions after the shower, that's when I am saying my affirmations. And that alone helps me embody their energy. As far as non-physical devotional acts, I honestly have done quite a bit for both of them. For Mother Lilith, it was actually her idea to create this entire brand. I didn't know what I was doing when I first started my Instagram, but she encouraged me to share my witchiness on Instagram. And that helped me a lot, especially when I was going through some darker times. And then eventually I started figuring out exactly what the message behind my brand was going to be. Especially after our last election, I got a very strong message from her, telling me this right here is what's really pushing us to send a specific message to the audience, that we need to embrace this switchiness, embrace this divine feminine goddess energy, because that's what's been suppressed by the patriarchal construct of the society that we live in. Anyway, I don't want to go off on a whole tangent there because I can ramble on about that. But yeah, my entire brand is pretty much a devotional act to Mother Lilith. And with Lady Venus, I have gone to art museums and galleries and things involving art and gardens and stuff like that that really embody the Venusian energy. That right there is a great devotional act. I also recently started doing fit checks. You may have seen my stories on either Instagram or TikTok where I share my outfit of the day, and it's just a quick little thing, but it's something that I do in order to honor the Venusian energy. All right, that is all I have for you today. I hope you found this helpful or inspirational for your own connection with your deities. I'd also love to know if you already work with either Mother Lilith or Venus, and what are some ways that you like to connect with them. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to learn about it. If you're interested in learning more about these two goddesses and how I started my journey with each one of them, I do have videos specifically for both of them, so I'll share them here for you. Feel free to check those out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you think might find it helpful. And thank you so much for watching.